Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and War of the Realms X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, issue number 3 of 3. First off, yes, I'm going with my Jesus look today. Second off, undeniably, the best of the ancillary and even tie-in issues of the War of the Realms event. No other book made me feel as though bad things can happen, sense of serious urgency, like this book did. So, yeah, let's get into who made this book, and let's just talk about how there are zero imperfections in this book. Okay, maybe not zero, but almost. So, Matthew Rosenberg is the writer. The art was done by Perry Perez. Colors by Rachel Rosenberg. Letters by VC's Travis Lanham. David Yardin did the cover art, and there is a variant cover by Ivan Shavrin. I don't even remember seeing that. So, yeah, that sucks. Sorry, I completely missed that variant cover. Anyway, let's just say the one bad thing I noticed in this comic book. There were a couple of scenes where the art felt a little bit lazy. None more so than the scene where the dogs are coming in towards the beginning, middle of this book, and then all of a sudden they start leaving. And Roberto is like, did I miss something? It's like it's the exact same freaking image used twice. None more so than that one, but there are still other ones where the art did feel lazy. Excuse me, make no mistake, it doesn't stay that way. It doesn't stay that way at all. There's a scene where Sabretooth grabs Ariana's neck and, grabs her by the back of the neck, and she looks more like, oh crap, as opposed to, oh, because that's probably how I would feel. I'm just saying. Yeah, I know she's been in hell forever and, limbo forever, and she's really tough. Yeah. Did I also mention it was Sabretooth who grabbed her? So anyway, this was, aside from that, the art was spectacular in this. There were great moments in here where the art really told the story, like it took over for Matthew Rosenberg's story and started telling its own story. So there's a whole lot more positive to the art than the negative. I literally just nitpicked what I possibly could from the art because otherwise it's really, really good. After that, there could not possibly be a complaint or even a nitpick. Aside from that, no other book, I don't care if it's a tie-in or like this, an ancillary or a one-shot, anything like that. No other book in this War of the Realms event, including the main books themselves, made me feel more afraid that I was going to lose somebody. No book made me more afraid that, these guys are screwed. Nobody gave me the sense, no other book gave me the sense of urgency like, oh wow, it's a war of the realms. We're all going to freaking die here. No other book made me feel like that. Only this book. Only War of the Realms Uncanny X-Men issues 1 through 3. Especially issue 3, where it all gets tied in. It all comes to a head. We lose somebody. It's kind of a big deal. As opposed to losing a part-time character like Brunhilde, who I love, but they never give her any airtime. As opposed to the character we lost in here, no spoilers for you, go purchase the book and support your local comic book store and support the comic book, medium that we love so much. Support the people who made this book. Nah, dude. What happens in here is we actually lose somebody who is a pretty major character, and he headed up a book not too long ago. Wow. And it was sad when we lost him too. I'm just like, oh my God, no. You guys remember when we were reading Rain earlier? She, Wolfsbane, when she decided to leave the X-Men, it just seemed really random, right? Rosenberg already had this planned. He probably already had it written and everything. Make sure you go back, and after you finish reading these 3 issues, go back and read that book where Rain was killed by those gangbangers and how she didn't really seem to want to fight back very much. it'll bring a whole new light, because I didn't really have a problem. There were a bunch of people who were really upset over that. That's understandable. But read it again after you've read this, and suddenly it becomes an entirely different story. It's a completely different event, because you know why she wasn't trying so hard, you know? Oh man, there were parts in here you could just break down and cry, man. This was such a solid issue. In fact, like, as much as I love Danny Moonstar, that while I'm reading the end of this, I could feel myself choking up a little bit. All right? Maybe it's just because I'm so ridiculously sick right now. It's because of exhaustion, my peeps. It's because of exhaustion. Yeah. Wow. Wow. This was an incredible story. I was moved throughout. I was with the X-Men. I felt like I was one of the refugees in this book. I felt like I was one of the few people who was hiding under a rock when, you know, Doctor Strange accidentally teleported everybody out of New York, and then I was one of the few people left over, and I saw the Valkyrie fall, and I'm like, oh. And then I'm seeing all these enemies just swarm over, and giants, screaming, threatening to eat any human that they find. Fire beetles flying around, and rock trolls digging under the ground beneath me. They could reach up and grab me at any moment. None of them made me feel more, afraid that this was a real event, and I'm just a human. And there's these monsters out there killing Valkyrie. Like, what chance do I have? And all of a sudden, I see the group that we place all of our hatred and bigotry towards. The X-Men, these muties. And they're the only ones who are going to save me. No other book made me feel like that. This book right here, hands down, the best story coming out of the War of the Realms event. And I have to say, of course, like, I already praised Jason Aaron for what he did in it. There were a lot of, pitfalls and mistakes and things like that. Here's something I'm going to say. I long for the day that Matthew Rosenberg gets called up to bat. When somebody says to him, hey man, I wonder what you could do with an event. Could you put together an event that'll make everybody go, oh, you know what I'm saying, and start rubbing their legs together like a cricket? Could you do that? Because I'd like to see you do it. And I would like to see when Rosenberg sits there and just goes, I got your event for you. And just wrecks everybody. Right now, like, dude, I praise a lot of writers for what they do. But right now, I feel like nobody has more of a range currently and like demonstrably than Rosenberg right now. Going from this horrible book, The X-Men, and by horrible I mean, like, these guys are struggling. They're struggling, and we know that it's going to end. And it's not for nothing, because it's all going to tie in to Hickman's run. Hickman's going to jump in, and he's going to take what was there and just take it from there. It's not going to be a reboot. None of this stuff is happening for nothing. It's happening for a reason. He's also writing The Punisher, which is just like, dude, oh my God, could you stop kicking this poor guy? Who feels bad for the Punisher? The Punisher's a guy we're like, yeah, I wish we were all allowed to be that badass. I wish we all could be that badass. And we're just like, right now, leave the Punisher alone. The whole leave Britney alone thing. Remember that on YouTube back in the day? Oy. Like, just all the things that he writes, man, he's got such a range. He can make things hysterical, like the Multiple Man series. Dude, the guy has got a hell of a range. I can't wait to the day that he decides to kick down some doors and say, it's time for me to write a freaking event. Back off, man. I'll read the hell out of that. I will read the hell out of that. And the thing is that I think that we all need to understand from this point on, if we didn't already understand it, from X-Men issue number 18, was it? 19? Whatever it was. That you can't judge anything that Rosenberg is doing based on what he's doing at the time. You got to just sit back and trust that he's got something in the future. You remember when New Mutants Lost Souls ended? And we were like, ain't no part 2 to this? What's going on? There's no issue 6? Or was it issue 7? I forget what, if it was a 5 or 6 issue limited series, whatever it was. It's like, dude, how does a book end like that? How does a title end like that? That's impossible. What are we going to do from this point on? Nobody knew. Nobody knew. Nobody ends books like that. But he had a plan. Captain America, I kept on saying, this doesn't sound like Captain America. Everybody's, all the Captain America haters out there. No, Captain America's a jerk. That's why, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that doesn't sound like Captain America. He's doing a bad job writing Captain America. The only thing I don't like about this comic book is the way Captain America's portrayed. Turns out it wasn't Captain America. Rosenberg is genius, man. Like, this cat, you can't discount anything that he writes and just judge it based on that. You got to judge it by its future merits. I've never met a writer like that before. Never met a writer like that before. That's sick. Dude, now all of a sudden the Rain Wolfsbane thing makes sense. Dude, I wouldn't want to stick around either. If what happened to her in this book happened to me, I wouldn't want to stick around either, dude. Now this is just simply masterclass storytelling right here. I'm going to tell you something straight up. If Matthew Rosenberg ever did something online talking about I'm going to teach you how to write, sign me the hell up. I'm there in a heartbeat. Done. Because this is, we talk about the people who play. I don't know if he played Dungeons and Dragons or not. I don't know. I don't even care at this point. But I can identify with writers like Zub who are, storytellers who just also happen to be good at writing also. And it's like, oh yeah, play some Dungeons and Dragons and you got a whole long plan. I don't care if it's linear. I don't care if it's, railroad tracks. I don't care if it's freaking sandbox. You're going to write all these different things. You're going to write. You have to plan for the future. I've never seen anybody do that the way that this guy does. Look, I understand. Hickman, I get it. But I've never seen anybody fly under the radar like I almost said Wolfman. He's good too. Never seen anybody fly under the radar being this damn good, that dirty little secret like freaking Matthew Rosenberg. This guy sat there and he wrote, people talk about 3-dimensional chess. He wrote a 3-dimensional outline. He's just like, boop, 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 putting pins up in the middle of the air, talking about, I'm going to do this, and then later on I'm going to do that, and then you're going to see this. I'm going to tell this story, but the answer is going to be all the way over there, and by the time they get there, this will make more sense. I've never seen that. Not like this. So yeah, freaking hats off, or hair ties off in this particular moment. This was an amazing book. This was an amazing ancillary 3-issue limited series. This blew me the hell away. This was good. Damn it, I felt like I was there. The whole entire time, I swear, I felt like I was there. And what a great way to end this. And of course, there's going to be a whole bunch of people who agree with me. Sabretooth was handled very well in this. Love this book. Guys, go back and get this. If the trade paperback comes out, you can't get all 3 of these, get the trade. That's real talk, man. Just go get them. Support this. Let Marvel know that we love what Rosenberg is doing. This is that top shelf stuff right up there, man. Boom. Anyway, guys, I'm done. Can't wait for the next issues. Uncanny X-Men coming up. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.